Continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, and Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson.
A child's scream in the middle of the night has shattered the quiet of the Harrington house. The house now occupied by David and Doris Schuster. A child's scream that eventually will be heard throughout Peyton Place.
Come in, Doctor. She's up in her room. I'll show you the way.
Oh, fine.
I'm sorry to call you so late.
Kim, Daddy, and the doctor are on their way up right now. You're gonna be all right. Dr. Rossi, it's her right leg. She fell down the steps.
Oh, all right. Hello, Kim. Well, let's take a look at that, eh?
Oh, Kim, let the
Doris.
doctor look.
Come on. Be all right. Let's take a look at it. Well, I understand you came down the stairs the hard way, huh? Wouldn't it be better instead of that big stairway out there to have a nice big sliding board, then you could come down, wee, wee, huh?
Come on, Kim. Let's cooperate with the doctor.
Dr. Rossi, take care of her.
I was trying to help.
Well, we've done enough.
Now, Kim, here, I want you to hold this for me. I'm going to take this and tap on your knee with it like this. Boom, 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 boom. All right? And then, with this, I'm going to tickle the bottom of your foot, but you have to promise not to giggle, all right?
We can't handle her ourselves. We've got to face that.
You mean I can't handle her, so why don't you come out and say it?
You're frightening the child.
She's not looking at us. She doesn't know what we're saying.
But she can certainly feel the tension.
Come on.
All right, Kim. Now, let's go to work, huh?
Kim is being ground to bits between us.
Are you blaming me?
No. I think we're equally responsible.
Why, because we came here? Because I made you take this job? Except it is not a job, David. It is a position.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Kim.
And, Margaret?
Yes.
I forced you to leave her.
I didn't say that.
And you were so happy with her.
I didn't say that either. I fell in love with you. I left my wife. I married you.
And then we had Kim, and she was born deaf.
I didn't say that either.
No, you didn't say it, David, but you thought it. And I thought it. That's all we ever think about. We just, think about it, and think about it, and think about it. Dr. Rossi, how is she?
Well, she's well enough to play hopscotch.
But her leg.
There's nothing wrong with her leg.
There's nothing wrong. Was she faking for attention?
That's the second time this week, isn't it? Something hurts, Mrs. Schuster.
Yes, I suppose it does.
Good night.
Good night.
Doctor. my wife bring Kim to see you tomorrow. You see, she's not faking for no reason. She wants to make us go back to New York.
But Kim needs a very special kind of handling.
Mrs. Schuster, let me ask you a question. If you had a so-called normal child, and the child exerted its will to force you into, say, giving in to her, how would you cope with that?
Well, Kim is not a normal child. We can't draw the usual lines for her.
Well, all children need lines drawn. They need it to demonstrate to them exactly how far they can go. Otherwise, they have no security.
Well, are you suggesting that we ignore the fact that Kim is deaf?
No, I just suggest that you remember that she is, first of all, a child. And somehow her handicap may have blinded you. Good night.
So according to him, Allison had exactly the right instinct, and so did Amy Warren. They drew lines for her.
David, please let me be a mother to my own child. Keep Amy away from her and keep Allison away from her. Please do it, David. Let me try.
We can't experiment with Kim.
She already resents me for taking Amy away from her. I'm willing to risk that she'll hate me if I take Allison away.
Don't take that risk, Doris.
Oh, I have to, David. If, I don't win my child, I will lose my husband.
And if I fail at the mill, I lose my wife.
What time did you blow in last night?
I don't know. I didn't look at the clock. Where are you going?
The mill? An appointment with Mr. Schuster about that job. I told you about it. I think I'm going to take it. Well, I love your enthusiasm. But you and Rita have troubles or something?
That's just it. I don't know. Everything's on top of the world, and last night, rock bottom. I knew she was scared all evening. And I tried to tell her I knew how she felt. I mean, about being my date, sort of out of it. And then you know how Ellen's crowd can be. She said that was it.
So what's your problem?
Well, I gotta know the rest. Is it me or is it Chernick? Maybe he's the one she wants.
Why don't you ask her? You know, I like Rita. And I somehow get the feeling she digs my brother.
Did she tell you that?
Why don't you find out for yourself?
I couldn't face her right now.
Why not?
You know I am. I try and say one thing, it comes out another.
Well, maybe that's the way it was with her last night.
Say, miss, could I interest you in a rain check? It's slightly used, but it's redeemable. You can use the same purse, but I'll have to buy another corsage.
Hi, Norman. Look, I'm sorry.
Ladies first.
I was just going to say I'm sorry about last night.
Apologies accepted. Listen, whatever it is that was bothering you, I mean, it couldn't be that bad.
No, not that bad.
Well, we've always talked things over before. I mean, I always tell you everything. You can tell me everything. My mother used to say, tell me where it hurts.
Please, Norman. Let me try and explain about last night.
Later. Now, about that rain check. I mean, seeing as how we blew the graduation dance. Tonight, why don't we try and have a glad school's over party, huh?
Well, I guess it was all the excitement.
I mean, you know, so much happening at once.
There was a lot of noise about nothing. Now, about tonight.
Well, I'm not sure. I didn't get much sleep.
Well, you can sleep on my shoulder. I'll just rev up old Betsy. We'll borrow a cup of gas, and away we go.
But... Excuse me. Peyton, please, pharmacy. Yes, this is Rita Jack speaking.
Hey, listen, Rita, I hope you haven't done anything foolish about last night.
I think we can have it prepared and delivered.
Hey, you know where I am? Some bus depot in Boston. I thought I'd get away for a while and think about things.
I understand, sir. No.
You haven't told anyone, have you?
No.
Hey, that's great, Rita. You know I'm sorry, don't you? Well, with the record and all, if anyone finds out, it could be rough.
I understand, sir.
I mean, I just can't afford the trouble. So you forget about it, all right?
Yes.
Thanks, Rita. Listen, think about me.
He knows all about you, doesn't he? What time you're on duty, when you're behind the counter, what time of day has the least business. Huh? Why'd you call?
Who?
Joe Chernick. What'd he call about, last night? What'd he say? How come you spend so much time with somebody you don't even care about? Is that what he said, Rita?
No.
Did you answer me?
Leave me alone. I wish everybody just leave me alone. You and my mother. This stupid town. You're all tearing me to pieces.
Hey. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, do I look like the rising young executive?
Oh, you're going for your job interview with Mr. Schuster.
Yeah, but don't be disappointed if I end up with a broom instead of a briefcase.
Well, won't it seem strange to you working at the mill?
Yeah, maybe. Hey, well, how are you?
Fine. Did you get your dishes done?
Yeah, eventually.
I should have stayed to help you.
There'll be other times. There will be, Allison.
We're going to have a wonderful summer.
Well, where you headed?
I'm going to the Schusters to take care of Kim.
Our car awaits.